Sorry. I don't know why I put my glasses up. Okay, that's better. Hey, sorry about my hairdo. Made it worse. I'm going bald, but still have some hair. Okay, anyhow, yesterday I was going to make a video. There's a very popular gun channel, did a whole video on the police unions or anti gun rights. And it basically went over liability and qualified immunity. Basically said that National Reciprocity Act, they tried to make it sound like you have to know the laws where you're from and obey those, and the laws where you're going and obey those at the exact same time. And a lot of them contradict each other in major ways. One of the big things that I have against that is local control. We started hearing that back from Moms Demand Action and against gun violence and all that shit back in the day when we started going after open carry in Texas. I'm no longer in Texas. But basically, local control. All the way go down to you have the state, you have the federal, you have the state, you have the county, you have the city, then you have the counties and all that shit. But local control should scare the hell out of you, because that means some random ass fucking cop, the way he was trained, that's right? And what are they going after? Liability. The protection of the officer from being sued personally, right? Because his actions are justified and yours aren't. Qualified immunity, basically protection from the state, because ignorance of the law is no excuse unless you wear a badge. Because not knowing what the actual law is, you can be held against liable and be thrown in jail for it, but they technically can't. That's what they want. And then today, it came out that in the GOA lawsuit, Pam Bondi, the brilliant, stupid bitch she is, her and fuckhead Trump being unconstitutional, said necessary and proper clause of the United States is constitutional, particularly in the area of particularly susceptible to criminal misuse. NFA regulates weapons that are primarily weapons of war. And then they go through that. What are technically weapons of war? Anything that can be readily acceptable and converted for criminal use. So basically, you have no rights to anything if a criminal uses it in a manner which it wasn't intended to, right? Which mainly goes after, hello everybody, which mainly goes after pistols in every way. That's why you see the attack of the anti-gunners going after Glock and how those fucking stupid bastards went after that. And Ruger seems like the two guys at Ruger grew a set of balls and are fighting back. But that's what it is, weapons of war. Only ones allowed to have weapons of war, right, are cops. Because it's their job to protect the state, to enforce the political whims and what they call it, collective revenue of the state. Well, then today I wake up and due to the time delay between Texas and Alaska, I find out that Precinct 4 did what they call a protective stop. Proactive stop, excuse me. What's a proactive stop? They saw a guy with a gun and decided to stop and take the gun, prevented a dangerous gun from staying on the streets. So, do not report this channel. So anyhow, I don't know what that means. So anyhow, they say, well, in the original lawsuit and Pam Bondi and all this shit, or Pam Bondi wasn't part of that, but in the original police unions video, get the weapons of war off the streets and you don't have a right to do this, and local control. This precisely, Precinct 4, is what local control means, and it should scare the fuck out of anybody. Because if an officer sees you with a gun, they can do a proactive stop, make sure you're legal, and even if you are, and even if you haven't committed any other crimes, they can get the weapons off the street. What does that mean? Personal seizure and asset forfeiture to the state, basically because a cop deems he can do so. And if you don't believe that, watch some of my original films way down in the bottom of the history of my channel. What was I doing wrong? Absolutely nothing. Why did the cop stop me? Because I had a gun on. run the serial numbers, hold you against your will, do it repetitively. All my stops are within 3 miles on the same goddamn road. Literally on the same fucking road. And that's why we have to watch this. Everybody thinks that somebody's going to be out there to save you, and Trump is this fucking second coming of Christ. And what it is, he put a stupid anti-gun bitch in charge of the what's she in charge of? The DA, not the DA. Basically, the law branch of the government. I can't think of it. Somebody put it in there. But you put an anti-gun person in charge, and then you make sure a good old boy from the ATF is in charge of the ATF, and then you say, well, citizens shouldn't have these weapons of war, but cops and people we deem necessary can have them readily available. If they're weapons of war, why don't they make the cops go back to carrying 38 fucking revolvers and no shotguns or rifles in their car, right? But this whole easily convertible shit with Glock and Ruger and all the anti-gun groups going after it. But the one that's going to affect you the most, and you can say I'm anti this and anti whatever, but the one that'll affect you the most is local control. Well, the law of the state of Texas is unclear, so a cop can do this or can't do this. So then it goes down to trickles down to once they pass the academy, they get on the streets, and basically anybody with a gun is a threat to them and the state. And then fuck your constitutional rights. We're just going to do this. And when I was arrested in Austin, the corporal that was in charge of whoever the local fucking idiot said basically in the state capitol, which they have no record of him saying this because there was only 30 cameras on him and nobody was recording it, right? If you don't understand it, you shut it down, you get it off site, and you hold somebody criminally liable. If you don't understand it, shut it down, hold them liable. Put somebody's ass in jail, basically. You can beat the charges, but you can't beat the ride. And that's what local control is. And you think somebody's going to save you based on the Constitution and get a lawyer and all this other shit. They are stacking the system in every way. Reported the channel. Great. I don't know what reported channel is. Basically, every step of the game is against the U.S. citizen. God forbid you're a white male, Christian, believe in the Second Amendment and actually proud of your country. But we, as I don't want to say we as Republicans, because I'm not a goddamn Republican, but the conservative group pays homage and automatic loyalty to the very fucking system that is looking to persecute and prosecute us in every fucking capacity when it comes to the Second Amendment. Honor the cops, honor the federal government, right? It's all bullshit. Are you a Democrat? No, I'm not a Democrat. But it's like every step of the road. And then I was wanting to make a video on this, but I didn't necessarily know why or how. Traveling from Texas to Alaska, you think you have gun rights. Most people in their lives, they have a job, they go to work, they have their close group of friends, and basically that's it. So if you travel or have to travel in any capacity, there's no federal security of Second Amendment or whatever, a constitutional right, the one thing that should have federal protection over it. And as you're traveling, even me with looking for, in Texas, you have the 30-05, 30-06, 30-07, unlicensed possession, 51%, and anti-gun signs. There's 6 that I can list right off the top of my head. In Alaska, they don't have any of that. No TABC, which should be ruled unconstitutional, by the way. But while you're traveling from one place to another, not only do you have to know all the laws, but it's deemed we're going to put these officers in place. They don't have to fucking know the law. You can't hold them criminally liable as individuals. They're protected by the states. But you, the citizen, have to know every fucking law, including and not limited to local control. And that should scare the hell out of you. But do some research, people. This shit's fucking amazing. They're going to screw us every step of the way. And people will show loyalty and respect to an organization such as Trump because there will be somebody there to save them. And in reality, he's doing everything humanly possible to mark against the Constitution and setting up the perfect progressive agenda for the next Democratic president. and he's laying in all the groundwork for them. If it's easily acceptable, readily convertible, easy to conceal, it's now a weapon of war, thanks to the great Pim Bondi. And you think the cops are going to be there to protect you? No, they're doing proactive stops now. Should scare the hell out of you. Look up all the Precinct 4 videos. Go fuck yourselves.